Hi guys, I'm Shmi, and today I'm going to give you 5 things I love about my Cayman GT4. First though, a little bit of an update about the car, and you might notice one thing has changed. That's the number plate. We're now SH14 ME. Previously it was SH15 ME, so say hello to Xiaomi instead of Shizmi. Shizmi is going to go onto the 675 LT Spider when that arrives in a couple of weeks' time. So we've got SH14 ME on the GT4, SH10 ME on the Ferrari FF, and SH15 ME on the McLaren. So you can probably guess my theme there. 87 TB that was on the 675 LT is going to go on to something coming in the very near future. In fact, something coming before the LT Spider even arrives. It's a little bit fun, it's a little bit quirky. I'm not going to tell you too much, but this is set to be a really pretty exciting month on the new car front. So stay tuned, because there's some cool stuff in store. Now, you might remember earlier in the year I did a 5 things I love about my Ferrari FF, a bit of a Marmite car. Well, this time round we're doing it with the GT4, which is, I think, a car that's pretty much unanimously loved. It's a spectacular car. It won tons of Drivers of Car of the Year awards, all sorts of things, because the experience is just awesome. So let's get started. 5 things I love about the GT4. The first thing that I love, and by far and away the overriding feature of this car, is the gearbox. This car has a 6-speed manual gearbox. When you combine that with the mid-engine flat 6, 3.8 litre, 385 PS, the engine setup, the suspension setup from the GT3, and that gearbox that we'll come straight in to have a look at now, it is just pure fun. You've got 6-speed of manual enjoyment. Now the ratios are set out pretty wide, which means that you're not changing gear too much, but for driving on the road, you're between 2nd and 3rd a lot, and it is just spectacular. Let's jump to some driving. Then actually, let's put it straight in the on modes. It's going to be loud all the way, sports, so that I have the auto blipping on the downshifts, which I love. Now I know some people out there mixed emotions, but at least you can turn it on and off. And let's go. This is where you can just let the exhaust scream away. It sounds so good. But why is it raining? Why is it raining? It was such a nice day earlier. The downshifts. I don't think I could ever get bored of this sound, this car, the driving experience, the emotion when you're at the wheel of it. Everything to do with it is just such a wonderful setup. It's so nicely balanced. It's such an amount of power you can actually drive. And I've basically said all of this before, haven't I, when I've taken the car for sort of driving videos when I got it, when it was new. I'm still enjoying it every bit. It's the kind of car I wish I could keep forever. I feel like I might have to sort of supersede it at some point with something else in my collection, in my garage. But it's one of those. It's just a truly special machine that was built entirely for a purpose, and that very purpose it does in an absolutely perfect way. So I'm just going to keep driving because it revs and revs and revs. The red line in here is about 7,500 RPM, but my word, there's tunnels on the road too. It's fun getting there. It's very fun getting there. And when you lift off, pop, crackle, burble, and then you can just go and listen to it open up as you put your foot down. The second thing I love, and we're back on the outside, is all about the sound. I fitted an IPE exhaust system from the headers back with the carbon fiber tips. They look awesome and they sound phenomenal. I've got a switching valve control so I can have it on, auto, off. I revealed the full video of that when we did the installation, but the noise of this car, the crackles on the overrun, the sort of scream as you rev it up, well up to the top end of the rev range, it's one of the most awesome sounds ever, all thanks to the IPE exhaust. Let's hear some clips. The third reason, and this might be pretty cliche, has to be the German quality and reliability. It's a Porsche, and I've driven maybe 5,700 miles in this car now and have not had a single fault. The same cannot be said for other cars that might be in the garage, but this one has been absolutely bulletproof. And I've pushed it pretty hard. It's been over 300 kilometers an hour on the Autobahn, it's done a track day at Anglesey, it's driven many mountain roads, all sorts of fun and exciting stuff, and it hasn't skipped a beat. It's just truly brilliant. And you know, the same goes for the interior, all the sort of trim, all the finish, all the different parts. It's all completely proper and as it should be. Everything just fits together properly. Nothing has gone wrong. The entire car is brilliant, and that's one of the reasons I love it and want to keep it in my garage as long as possible, because as well as being such a spectacular car to drive, it is also such a bulletproof car. And I'm sort of kind of getting a little bit hooked by the Porsche thing, because I guess, well, this was my first one, but it's introduced me to this world of that kind of driving and that setup and the way it's engineered and how brilliantly everything's put together. It's just a truly marvellous car. So the reason number 3, how well made it is, how reliable it is. For the fourth item on my list, we're going to jump back inside the car, because there is one particular little feature I just love, and it's not exclusive to the GT4 by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, it features on various Porsche models, but that's this. The cup holders. These must be the world's most over-engineered cup holders. Let me show you why. You push this, opens the flap, you've got your 2 cup holders, out they come. They're adjustable, you can fit any size of sort of bottle or cup or whatever in there, lovely little thing, and then you can close up the center flap. How insane is that? Can you imagine the R&D budget that went into making these? And then you just close it, push it in, shut it up. Or you can just have one out, you can just play with this. This is just fun. And yeah, and if you have a bottle here, it's been cooled by the air conditioning, it doesn't obstruct your view of the navigation screen. The whole thing, for such a simple little thing, is insanely, oh, it would help if I shut it properly, is such an insanely well-made piece of kit. And it's so simple and so small, but I love that. It's almost an example, I guess, a bit of the sort of engineering quality I was talking about just before. So reason number 4 has to be those over-engineered cup holders. Now for number 5 in my list, I'm kind of going to cheat a little bit and take us back to the first reason, which is basically the overall drive. The reason this car won the Best Driver's Car Awards, the whole package that went into it. It's a combination of the aero, Porsche's GT division creating this fantastic car, the tyres, the Michelin Sport Cup 2s that it's running on, the grip they have, the whole setup with the suspension, the GT3 suspension, that manual gearbox and the engine I talked about before. The entire package just makes a car that is fundamentally amazing to drive. It may have less than 400 horsepower and it may have a manual gearbox, not a flappy paddle double clutch gearbox or whatever, but it's so quick to drive on the roads and the power is so usable. You can ring it out and get up to the red line in second gear without feeling like you're going into oblivion miles an hour and you're going to end up losing your license. It's just such an amazing car to drive, and that's the reason why I bought it in the first place, because it just seemed like all the boxes were going to be ticked. And then when I did my first drive very shortly after it was revealed at the Geneva Motor Show last year now, I was just absolutely in love and couldn't wait for mine to arrive. Then it did arrive, and on day 1 I drove it across to France, day 2 the Route Napoleon, and after that I did a lot of lovely roads in the south of France. Then I took it on the Esso, the tour with Esso, where we went to the Isle of Man, drove the TT circuit, and it's just a true driver's car, and it really is one of the very best out there. You know it's commanding a premium on the used market for good reason. There aren't that many of them, maybe a couple of thousand around the world, certainly only a couple of hundred in the UK. And, well, everybody should want one because it really is a phenomenal piece of kit. The design work and the way they've built this thing is just amazing, all the engineering. It's breathtaking. It's an absolutely breathtaking package. I know my Martini stripes are a little bit controversial to some, but they are just stickers. They're not permanent, remember, so I can take them off in the future if I decide I don't want them anymore. For now, though, I love how it looks. So, reason number 5, it's really how good this car is to drive. There we have it, my 5 reasons I love the GT4, and a bit of a garage update as well, with the number plates changing around and what's coming in the near future. We've got the Goodwood Festival of Speed, and there are going to be some announcements coming from there, so watch this space. The end of June, early July. is going to be a very, very exciting period. I can't wait, and I'm going to be sharing it all with you. So keep your eyes peeled, and I'll catch up with you with some updates. But that's it, the 5 reasons. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch up with you again soon. Cheers. Audi have released the upgraded version of the RS6, the RS6 Performance, which is what this. Of course, we've got the Brabus 500 G500 4x4, where they